They just did that. WWE SmackDown, January 3rd, 2025 results. As always, we're not going to skip a beat, y'all. We're going to go straight to the biggest thing that happened on this show. No, it wasn't undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. No, it wasn't the main event, which we will get to in a minute. Oh, what a mistake they made. But no, we are going to kick things off with the biggest news of the show. It was Nia Jax losing her women's championship to Tiffany Stratton, yes. So earlier in the night, we saw Tiffany Stratton to be nowhere to be seen. It was Nia Jax seen in the back training with Candice LeRae, and they were confused by the absence of Tiffany Stratton before LeRae said, you know what, don't worry about it. She's not here. I'm going to watch her back when you defend that women's championship against Naomi. And it was Nia Jax beating Naomi by pinfall. Right? And then after the match, there was a little bit of a brawl that broke out. Bianca Belair ran down, attacked Nia Jax, and all of a sudden, Tiffany Stratton and her music hit. She ran to them to the ring with the Money in the Bank briefcase, attacked Jax, and gave the briefcase to the referee, instructing the ring announcer to ring the bell and get this party started. And that's exactly what happened. We saw Stratton come out. We saw Stratton hit her signature moonsault finisher to pick up the 1, 2, 3 after holding Money in the Bank for 153 days, winning it this past summer, ending the reign of Nia Jax, who beat Bayley at SummerSlam. We have a new women's champion. Now, obviously, as we go into Saturday night's main event, we go into the Royal Rumble. We don't know when, but I think it's pretty fair to assume we're going to get a Nia Jax Tiffany Stratton rematch. Because let's be real, the first one wasn't really a match at all. It was a classic heel cash in. Ironically, I don't think that makes Tiffany Stratton a heel. I think it would keep her a heel. I think it would keep Nia Jax a heel. I can't see her being a babyface either. So it'll be interesting to see where this develops and when they exactly do this rematch. But yes, Tiffany Stratton is your new women's champion. Let's go through the rest of this show. Let's kick it off with the opening segment, which was very interesting. WWE Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes. He came down to the ring to preview his ladder match against Kevin Owens at the Royal Rumble PLE in February 1st. However, he was quickly interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Now, McIntyre said that Rhodes was about to make the biggest mistake of his career and offered to help. But Rhodes, well, he simply didn't buy it and challenged McIntyre to a match right then, right now. McIntyre said that he was telling the truth and did not want to hurt Rhodes one bit, but then told Rhodes that he needed to watch his back. All of a sudden, Kevin Owens attacked Rhodes from behind, leading to a brawl before Shane Helms, Sean Daivari, Jamie Noble, and SmackDown GM Nick Aldis and an army of security guards separated the two, adding more heat to this rivalry. Now, there was a backstage segment, I believe, yes, later in the show where Cody Rhodes actually confronted Nick Aldis, and Rhodes said that the story with him from now to the Royal Rumble was that he would drop Kevin Owens or anyone that looked like Kevin Owens on sight. So no more warnings, no more Mr. Nice Guy, no more standoffs. He was coming, and he was coming for blood, and it was the blood of Kevin Owens. First match of the night was Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Andrade. Now, Nakamura, our U.S. champion, did go over Andrade in a non-title match. Now, after the match, things picked up because LA Knight attacked Nakamura before Nakamura escaped. Knight cut a promo about how he would regain what was his and regain his championship. And that is exactly what happened because later in the night, we saw a backstage segment with Knight and Nick Aldis. And then LA Knight did a promo afterwards informing us that next week, the January 10th episode of SmackDown, he would get his rematch for the U.S. Championship, a championship in which he lost at Survivor Series War Games, a championship in which I thought they mistakenly took off of LA Knight and put it on Nakamura. And that match is going to be happening next week. So I am hopeful that LA Knight will win this championship. I am not expecting LA Knight to win this championship. WWE made it very clear that they think Nakamura needs the title. Now, some people say it's because, well, he returned to Japan over the weekend and he worked Pro Wrestling Noah shows. I don't buy that. I don't think you need to be a champion to go over there. Heck, he did that with the Great Muta's retirement match in 2023. So you don't necessarily need that clause in there. I think they wanted to take the title off LA Knight, and they felt like he needed a little bit more of a adversity, I guess, as a baby face or whatnot, but like that's the direction they went into, and that's the direction they're going to go into. I'm hopeful that LA Knight will win this championship back, but I'm not holding my breath either. Nakamura, look, from his NXT days on, it's just been a guy, right? He has solid matches. They're not great matches, but they're solid. They took away his entrance. To me, he's just a guy. His current character's kind of interesting, but I don't know where they're going with it necessarily. So we will see where they go with Nakamura and LA Knight next week. There was an interesting segment where Apollo Crews was on his phone before he was confronted by Pretty Deadly backstage about being liars. They were then interrupted by Legado del Fantasma, who took offense with Pretty Deadly lying in their names and blaming them for attacking the Street Profits. Now, Garza and Berto attacked Pretty Deadly before three referees and Nick Aldis separated them. Aldis then told Pretty Deadly that they needed to have a chat. And then he scolded them for lying about Los Gazas. And then DIY appeared and tried to make a case for Pretty Deadly, but Aldis told them they were on thin ice as well. Now, I should note this, that later in the night, there was a vignette for the Motor City Machine Guns, who went after Johnny Gargano after betraying them to take the tag team titles and vowed to regain the belts in their first rematch. And that led us to this rematch because it was a WWE Championship for the tag team titles. So WWE Tag Team Championship match. It was DIY going up against Motor City Machine Guns. And it actually ended in a no contest of all things because Los Garza came out and brawled with Pretty Deadly, which led to them bumping into DIY and Motor City Machine Guns inside the ring, with the referees throwing out the match. So in my opinion, and there's been no reports to back this up, there's been no even rumors to back this up, this is just pure speculation on my part, that sounds to me like they're going to do a Fatal 4-Way match. Saturday Night's Main Event, Royal Rumble, maybe a SmackDown. I think they're kind of rushing all of that, but you could easily have La Gaza go over or have someone beat Los Garza, have DIY retain the titles most likely. You could put the Motor City Machine Guns back on top, but DIY probably gets it done. It's just someone to get beat. That's the way I would look at it. Then let's talk about the Paul Heyman segment, right? Because this was noticeable. You had Paul Heyman come out to the ring for a promo. And he said he was there to set the record straight ahead of the tribal combat match between Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns at the Netflix debut on Monday Night Raw. He said that he and Reigns trained Solo for whenever he would be ready to be the new tribal chief, but said Solo was a sick SOB. He stole the Eulafala because he knew no one would accept him as a tribal chief. Heyman then went after Solo for recruiting Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu into the faction, and said that Roman Reigns would remain the tribal chief. After that, Solo Sikoa came out to confront Heyman before offering Heyman a favor. The favor in question is that the wise man and Reigns finally acknowledge him. So basically what's going to happen is Monday Night Raw, you will have Roman go up against Solo with the Eulafala held by Paul, and Paul will recognize or acknowledge the real tribal chief once the match is over. That's how they're getting around that. It just adds to it in a match that does not have a lot of drama built up around it, but hey, that's what they're doing. And the main event to keep with the Bloodline storyline. So the new Bloodline went over Jay, Jimmy, Uso, and Sami Zayn. So our honorary Usi. There was outside interference from Drew McIntyre. However, it was really Jacob Fatu doing the dirty work for Solo before Solo hit Jay with the Samoan spike for the 1-2-3. It was just adding heat to Solo as he goes into Monday Night Raw in his collision with Roman Reigns.